Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Good, Michelle. How are you doing? How's everything?
I'm good. Yeah. Lindsay, what lists do you commonly make that don't have to do with work? Because we've talked about that a lot, that we do work lists, right?
What lists do I commonly make that don't? Well, I always have my work lists. I have the Monday.com at the same time. And I have personal lists, like things I have to do. I put it on the countertop downstairs, like call the vet, pick up medications, call the hairdresser, schedule this, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Are those ones more written out than your work ones?
It's all written out, pen and paper, old school, Michelle.
Oh, for work too.
Yeah, well, kind of. I sort of have half my stuff written out and half in Monday.com. It's crazy. I'm all over the place. Michelle. It's there's no rhyme or reason. It's chaos over here. Yeah.
So I have my list in my email, and I do the thing where we talked about just yesterday I was adding things to the list that I did that were never on the list just to make myself feel good.
Yeah, we've talked about that on this show.
Yeah.
So funny.
Here's a question. Do you make shopping lists or do you just remember what you need?
So I tend to buy a lot of the same things on a weekly basis. So those things I'll remember. But if I feel like I'm getting something new or if we're cooking something, I'll make a list for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, party invitations. You're planning a party. So guys, maybe you can tell we're going to be talking about lists today because we have a listener question. Lindsay, this is a very special listener, and we're going to tell you why. Lindsay, could you read the question for us?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to read this, Michelle. So the person says, Lindsay and Michelle, first of all, thank you very much for your amazing work. You are my best English learning tool since
probably tool.
Yes, tool. Good call, Michelle. Since 2015, 10 years are not 10 days. Wow. 10 years, Michelle. This listener is
amazing.
Amazing. This might be one of our longest listeners that I'm aware of.
Yeah, that is just incredible. We're so thankful and keep on listening.
Keep listening. Here's the question. My question is about to list, not always meaning to make a list. When English speakers say love it or list it, well, I always feel I'm missing something. Thank you in advance, Lais Maria from Salvador Bahia, Brazil. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
10 years. Just unbelievable. And, Lindsay, we were reading this beforehand and just saying that that's so incredible because to listen for 10 years. I mean, first of all, I think about, sharing so many life experiences.
Yeah, we've been through so much, right? Over the last 10 years. And we've shared a lot of it with our listeners.
Yes.
Living in different places, traveling the world, having children, getting married. We've been through so much, and our listeners have gone through similar things with us.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. So guys, make sure, to hit follow wherever you're listening to this podcast so that you can also become a 10-year listener.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that is if you go ahead and hit follow and, you end up listening to us for 10 years, if that happens, which we hope it does, you get to go back and measure your progress. Because we speak at the same pace that we did 10 years ago. It's not like we've slowed down or sped up. So you'll be able to measure as a benchmark against yourself. Like how much have you gotten better with your listening? That's the cool thing when you really commit to being a member of our community, a listener, hit follow, come back 5 days a week. Right?
Love it.
Yes.
Okay. So Lindsay, whenever I hear make a list, I often think check it twice, like in the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere, right? This make a list thing.
Sometimes people will actually make that joke, right? If you say, I'm going to make a list, and they might say, you're going to check it twice? Right.
Yeah. Right. A little bit of a tease, right? They're teasing you a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So let's get into this. So make a list. Yeah. This one it's often for thinking in the moment. So it's, spontaneous. It's often written or typed out, right? We're focusing on the making of the list, the creation, right?
Yeah, exactly. So again, like you said, spontaneous, typed out, you're creating that list. For example, make a list of everyone you want to invite to the party and then send it to me. So again, to make is to create something, to do or to create. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Or I make a list of everything I need to accomplish for the week, and that really helps with my stress levels.
That helps me too. At the beginning of the week, it feels like chaos and there's like 5 lists and they're all different, and it's making one list and thinking, okay, let's prioritize. What is the most important thing? But I wonder if that's so cultural, Michelle. If we just kind of live and die by our lists here in the US, don't we? Yeah. We're so task oriented. Sometimes I think maybe it's not the same around the world. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I just I do believe. Yeah, I wonder what that says about us, that we're constantly making lists. That's true. Very, and how accomplished we feel when we are going through that list.
Yes.
That's it is huge. It's very, I guess it's kind of stressful. I mean, if there are so many things to do that you need the list to calm you down.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to make broad generalizations about culture because there's so many personalities and differences, regional, oh my gosh, family differences. But I think broadly, I've seen research, in the intercultural world that says the US is a more task-based society versus a relationship-based society. And that's why that also intersects with our time values. When a meeting starts, it starts at 8. It doesn't start at 8:05 because your previous meeting went later because of your relationships and respecting that, right? No, it starts at 8:05 because we made a plan to meet at 8. Yeah. Right. Sorry, it starts at 8 because we made a plan to start at 8. So anyways, we can touch on this another day, but really interesting. Yeah. Super interesting. Yeah.
Great. Or so here's another one. I'm going to make a list of all my favorite restaurants in the area and send it to our out of town guests so they know where to go.
Yes, that's a good thing to do if you're having a wedding, right? Things to do, bars and restaurants to check out in town. All right. So again, our listener asked the difference between make a list and to list. So that is kind of what make a list is, but then list is a little bit different.
Right. So again, we want to think about, I think the key word is make. Right? Yeah. Make a list, right? We're focusing on the actual process of creating the list, coming up with the list. Now, if you say just to list something, you could be reading a list you've already made in your head or on paper. Yeah. It doesn't have to be written. Like, for example, let's list our favorite movies. I'll go first.
Yes, exactly. So it doesn't mean you're going to take a piece of paper and a pen, right, Michelle, and write them out, right? You're just saying them, Forrest Gump, and then you would say another movie, and I'd say another one. Okay.
Again, you could have said, let's make a list of our favorite movies, but that to me sounds more like we're going to write it. Yeah. Don't you think?
I would say so. Yeah. So again, you might be reading a list. You might be speaking a list. What else, Michelle? What's another place we might just say to list something?
Okay, here we go. Please list everyone's phone numbers in the group. Now, again, this could be make a list too. But I think here's another thing. I think when you see instructions, a lot of times maybe in writing, you might say, please list blah, 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 blah. It sounds a little bit more elevated to me. Does that make sense? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense. Or here's another example. I listed 4 good reasons why we should take our group trip to Myrtle Beach, but no one agreed with me. And that doesn't mean you wrote a report with a list. It means you just, you argued it verbally, probably. Right?
Yes, exactly. So again, you can see they're kind of murky waters we're dealing with here because it's not necessarily one cut and dry answer. I would say, when you're considering which one to use, I don't think you can go wrong with make a list, right? Yes. If you're really confused about what to use, I don't think you're ever going to say, wait, make a list. But I think sometimes if you just say list, it may not work. Do you agree with that?
I think that works. It's good to have a rule of thumb here. You can never go wrong with just saying make a list. But then there are other ways that list comes up, right? And we're going to get into that after we take a quick little break here. Right, Michelle?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so we're back. And then, there's other ways. Like, for example, do we cover list it, love it or list it? The question?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
I think wait, let's see. Did I include that?
I don't see it anywhere here, actually.
I didn't say it. I meant to. Okay, let's talk about love it or list it before we move into the next part. I think that's a show on...
I think it is. Yeah, love it or list it. Yeah, exactly. So it's a show where on HGTV probably.
HGTV, right.
It's always on. HGTV is always on. There's always something interesting on there. Where I think what it is they bring in someone to renovate your current house.
Yes.
And then there's a budget and they renovate it. And then you decide whether you want to keep it or you want to list it. And what are we saying when we want to list it, Michelle?
Right. So this is a different kind of list. So this kind of list is to put it on the market, right? To list it. So you're going to sell your house. So yeah, in this show, I used to watch it. It's actually fun.
It is fun.
But I haven't watched it in a while. So there's a designer and then there's a realtor. And the designer, she does the house again. She makes it beautiful.
Yes.
But meanwhile, the realtor is finding a new house that has everything that the family needs.
Exactly.
And then they see the new house. They see their old house redone, and they decide, do we want? And they find a new house that they love, and they have to make the decision.
Yes, I recommend it. It's good. Those kind of shows are just so lightweight. Sometimes
they're good for before bed.
Yeah, when you need something very lightweight and just a little bit entertaining, and it's always fun. There's something about the human brain that loves to see inside people's homes. Have you noticed that?
No, that is true.
It's so true. Like when you walk by people's, I don't want to sound weird, but like there is something in your mind that's like, oh, I wonder how they have their house arranged. Like where do they have their couch? And it's just, I don't know what it is. It's something weird.
Actually, that's fun. It's funny you say that because my next door neighbors are they are putting in a patio. A whole backyard. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And when they were having people work on that, we all kept on kind of looking over. And then the other night they invited us to look at it, and then we were kind of looking because then we could kind of see into their house. And I said, "Oh, I love your stools." And
it's a thing. It's definitely a human thing. It's very strange. But so, anyways, to list a house is just to put it on the market. Is basically what it is, right? You're putting it on the market, and it is therefore being listed probably on Redfin or any of those other websites. But it's more about the action of putting it up for sale.
Right.
Okay.
So, and then, but do people really say this, love it or list it? I mean, this isn't, I think this comes from the show.
That's just the show. Yeah.
But you could always make a joke. I could say, even if it has nothing to do with houses, right? I could imagine giving, like if I'm trying something on in the dressing room and then I come out to show my friend, I could say, love it or list it,
I guess if you're intending, I don't know if I would say that if I'm going to just decide between buying it or just putting it back on the rack, but I might say that if I'm thinking of either keeping it or like selling it on Craigslist. Do people sell clothes on Craigslist? I don't know. Maybe.
I haven't gone to Craigslist in a while.
Yeah, me neither. It kind of requires selling something to say listed, that you are selling something.
Right.
Like that's a car, that kind of thing. So to list something,
true.
Yeah, means to put it on some kind of marketplace. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. All right, let's go into two more. So one is list off.
Okay.
So this is to casually say things, right? Lindsay, can you do an example?
Yes. I'm going to list off some ideas for takeout we could get, and you let me know what you like best.
Right. Or don't just list off random ideas. Really put some thought into it.
Yeah. So using the phrasal verb list off again really indicates articulating something, saying it. Okay. But then there's another way we could say the same thing, really.
List out. And again, a lot of these you could just mix and match. I wouldn't put too much stress on yourself for this. But if we're thinking about the difference, this one is to list pretty specific, maybe with numbers, right? So I'm going to list out all the reasons we shouldn't go. 1, it's boring. 2, it's far away.
Okay, yeah. So maybe that's a very subtle difference. You are going to go and say the numbers. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, 1, it's boring. 2, it's far away. 3, blah, blah, blah. But again, these phrasal verbs are pesky, so don't get too stressed out about them here. Okay. Just know there are 2 phrasal verbs that could go after list.
Right.
Here's another one. He listed out all my mistakes one by one. It was really demoralizing. Yeah. List out has a bit of a granularity to it of like painstakingly. He said each one. Number 1, number 2, number 3, right?
Yeah. Yep. So again, guys, don't stress about these too much. We're going to show you now how to put them together in a role play. Yep. Again, can't go wrong with make a list.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. I love it. Here's a role play. So here you and I are planning a party. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right.
Okay, so let's make a list of everyone we want to invite.
We may need an A list and a B list for space.
I know, I hate doing that. Okay, so let's list off some people.
Well, Tracy, JJ, Paul,
Shauna.
Right. Okay, let's list out everyone. Do you have your laptop?
Yes. Also, list all the addresses.
Oh, right. That'll make things easier. All right. So here we used all of these.
Yeah.
You started by saying, let's make a list. So you're literally saying we're going to take out a piece of paper or a laptop and list out everyone that we want to have come, that we want to invite.
Exactly. And then you said, okay, so let's list off some people. So that to me, that gives the sense of exactly what we're doing. This, right? When you're kind of thinking in the moment, list off. Yeah. It's like, maybe I don't know.
Your head turns up to the sky and you're thinking.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe you're counting on your fingers. Oh, Maria and this person and that person. Okay.
Right.
And then you said, right. And I said, okay, let's list out everyone. So now I'm asking us to get a little more literal.
Granular.
We're going to sit down and take out the laptop and start writing them out. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you could have said, let's make a list of everyone, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah.
And that would be fine too. So again, make a list. It's good. And then I said, yes, also list all the addresses. So you could have said, make a list of all the addresses. That's fine. But this kind of, it also, we're saying things over and over. This kind of shortens it also.
Yeah, this is actually a great question from our 10-year listener. I love it. It's challenging what we're looking at here because we're really looking at the super high level nuances at the C1, C2 native level here. Michelle, I love it.
Yeah. These are very nuanced. I would say, well, first of all, we want you to listen to episode 2462. That is Intonation is Connection. Takeaway for today.
Yeah, I mean, the takeaway is take as much of this as you want, right? If you're listening to this episode, you feel a little overwhelmed because it feels very nuanced, the differences, don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Grab, like Michelle said, make a list, try using that in most scenarios, you'll be okay. Then gradually listen for when someone decides to say list off, list out, or list, and start to put together the pieces through your own listening experience. Okay.
Right. This is so nuanced. It's so nuanced that it almost helps because it's hard to get it wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you can really go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Mixing these up. No one's gonna say, what are you talking, because they're used so fluidly.
Exactly. And I would also I'm just curious, maybe we'll put a poll. One of our Spotify poll might be something about culture, like how important is list making in your culture. I'm super interested in the cultural piece because lists are a huge part of American culture, whether they're written down or whether they're in our heads. We are a very task oriented culture, get things done. Right. And I'm curious how our listeners' cultures are. So we'll talk about that in the poll. Make sure you're listening in Spotify if you would like to participate in the poll, or check out YouTube because this is also available as a video. So go over there to YouTube, type in All Ears English. Right, Michelle?
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. And thank you to our listener for the 10 years. Happy 10 years. And here's to 10 more.
All right. Excellent. Michelle, you have a good day. Talk to you soon.
You too. Bye.